New American Liberty League. Listen, I know I don't have the voice for videos or the voice for podcasts. So for the three of you that are going to watch this longer than 6 minutes, I'm sorry. I am Daniel Leonardo Hernandez, D. Hearn. This is my son, Emil Alexander Hernandez, in whom I am well pleased. Listen, we had the big topic today in the notebook today. In the notebook today, the big topic is about how America is divine, and we're going to make the whole show about that. But yesterday, we had the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. So obviously today we're going to have to get to a lot of that, a lot of the cover-up. We're going to also talk about it. We'll tie it into the big topic of America being divine because it fits perfect. We're obviously going to talk about that in the news section, the cover-up and everything related to it. We're going to tie it into everything. We'll tie it into the capitalist part, which, by the way, if you like money, we're 10 episodes in, and we're not professionals, but our track record has been great. In the live section, we're going to have to shorten what we're going to talk about because of what happened yesterday. We're going to add something related into the live section. Also, we got a really weird sponsorship today that should be good, should be entertaining. But listen, last week we talked about how America is divine. We talked about the fathers because we're going in, the founding fathers because we're going into Independence Day. And I brought up Washington's vision. This is something I heard years ago. I got the absolute chills from it when I heard it. Recently, just for this, I reread it, heard it again one more time, listened to it on YouTube. And I was planning on reading the whole thing, but like I said, I'm going to give it a shorter version now just because of the events of yesterday, which we obviously have to hit on more so than, of course, we were planning. So let me lay out the scene. America is divine. There's no other way to put it. There's no doubt about it. At Valley Forge, Washington was depressed. Obviously, we had no business winning that war. We were really down. He was down. The morale of the soldiers was down. And one night he had a vision. He talked about this vision very little. Most of our traditions and idea of it come from soldiers that he spoke to about it and overheard him talk about it. And then in the early 1800s, someone actually published it. If you follow the page for a long time, I used to start every post of Son of the Republic, look and learn. This is where I get it from. So he was there one night. I explained the circumstances. Valley Forge was a big turning point, and he had a vision. He goes into great detail about seeing this angel, and the angel came to him, and the angel said, in short form, the angel said, Son of the Republic, look and learn. And what he was shown was an angel in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean sprinkling water on the colonies and America and sprinkling water on Europe and England. Then he was shown a great battle, and at the end, the two came together. The second vision, Son of the Republic, look and learn. And now he was shown the whole country from Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean. And he was shown cities popping up, population centers popping up all over the country. Then they started going to war with each other. He speaks about brother against brother, friend against friend, neighbor against neighbor. And it was horrible. He was shown a crown, a king's crown that said Union. At the end, the battling stopped and the country came together. The third vision, Son of the Republic, look and learn. This time he was shown a demon in the middle of the Atlantic, splashing water on America, splashing water on Europe. He heard amazing, loud thunderous trumpets, as he describes it, and fire. A huge blast and a huge fire that he describes in some detail in the vision engulfed America and engulfed Europe. He saw a great battle. And at the end, the smoke cleared and there was an angel in America standing with the flag of our nation. What flag that is, what variation, he didn't really get into. The angel was standing with the flag of our nation. Let me pick it up there. This is how he ends it after he describes the vision. The scene instantly began to fade and dissolve. I last saw nothing but the rising, curling vapor I first beheld. This also disappearing, I found myself gazing upon the mysterious visitor, who in the same voice I had heard before said, "Son of the Republic, what have you seen?" I interpreted 3 great perils will come upon the Republic. The most fearful is the third. But in this great conflict, the whole world shall unite against us and shall not prevail against her. Let every child of the Republic learn to live for his God, his land, and his union. With these words, the vision vanished. I started from my seat and felt that I had seen a vision wherein had been shown to me the birth, progress, and destiny of the United States. Washington was divine. Our founders were divine. This country is divine. Now, let me tie in yesterday. We talk about Trump like he's any politician. We talk about him like he's any politician. We can be negative because we see patterns and trends, and we are losing America. And I don't believe the map of America can be saved. But I still believe America is divine, God protected and God given. Yesterday, Donald Trump became more than just a man, even in my eyes. And like I said, I have no problem calling him out politically. But yesterday, I saw a man that was protected by God. I saw a man that should be dead. His ear was hit by a bullet. We're talking about less than an inch difference. The wind, a small change in direction of his head, or even the bullet, and he should be dead. I believe yesterday proves to me that God is still with this nation, that there is a godly side to this. It is bigger than politics, like we say, and we are still divine. And yesterday, for whatever reason, Trump was protected. And I'm not comparing Trump to Washington. I'm not comparing Trump to our founders, but maybe the founding generation and our generation has some comparison. And maybe we are both here at a divine time. But I promise you this, America is divine. It is still divine. Emil, why, however you want to word it, what makes America divine? Why is America divine? What are your thoughts on what it is that makes us, that gives us this godly protection, this godly influence, and what is it that makes America something truly special?
Yeah, I have absolutely no doubt that America's divine. You can look throughout history and it's obvious that God has played a hand in the creation of this country. For one, to start, when people first came to the Americas, it was to worship God. It was to get away from the religious oppression that was going on in Europe, from places like Spain and from places like Britain. Now, moving past that and moving closer to the time of America's founding, we get to the Revolution. And when we get to the Revolution, we shouldn't have won the war at all. it shouldn't have been close. Britain had the biggest army at the time, the strongest army, and all weapons were nowhere near. And the only way to explain how he won that was God. He put his hand in the war, and he let us win. He helped us out. He gave Washington the vision, and he gave our men the courage to fight on. The third reason here is later on, I believe God thinks in generations. And moving past the revolution, some like 200 years, we then got to World War II, where we reestablished Israel. And now we protect Israel. And I believe that could be one of the biggest reasons why he helped America be founded, was for that reason, to protect the Jews, to reestablish Israel, and overall to make sure that God's people are preserved. And
and also gave them a safe place to go when much of Europe wasn't safe at that time.
The fourth thing is poverty. Most of the world has been in poverty most of the time. I mean, you look back in history, you're always going to find peasants starving. But then America came along, and all of a sudden we have brought riches to the entire world. Not just to America, but the entire world has gotten to be a better, richer place because we exist. And I think that goes to show God's hand in everything. He has gave us the power to prosper so well, and when we prosper, the rest of the world prospers.
Absolutely.
The final thing I have here is the innovations that we have brought to the world. Medically, you think about religion, think about how much we have spread the Bible and the Word of God around. Just America as a whole. We have gotten it to places that never would have seen it. We have a ton of missionaries here. We have spread the Word of God so much, just so much.
So much through our culture, and not as much today because the culture is secular.
Slowly moving past it.
Slowly moving away from
it.
Yeah, but yeah, America is a nation under God, and our map may not always look the same, but we are divine. Our founders were divine. Our rights come from God, and not only are we one nation under God, never forget, no matter what culture makes you feel, no matter how secular the culture is, we are under God. Every nation, every person is under God. And for this nation, make sure to give God
all the credit,
all the glory. Before we move on to news, have you heard of Lenny's Custom Quality Painting and Repair?
I have heard of him. I heard there's rumors of the guy that after 6 p.m. he turns into the Jekyll and Hyde of painting. Whatever that means.
I don't know if it's just a rumor. In all honesty, he is the best at everything. He works for The Rock, Chris Bosh, NBA coaches. He's been in magazines. This is not for the average person. If you have the money to afford what you want and not what you could just afford, this is the man to call. He works in all of Florida. A lot of people say a jack of all trades is usually not great at any one thing. Sometimes I even put myself in that category. This man is, and I'm not over exaggerating. He is the best I've ever seen. Lenny's Quality Custom Painting and Home Repair. If you need to get in touch with him, get in touch with me. Sponsor this half hour, but at 6, right around 6 p.m. We'll get into that later. Let's get into news now. Unbelievable day yesterday. I've been saying this a lot more recently than I ever wanted to and ever thought I would. Yesterday, was one of the craziest days of my life since 9/11. I was not alive, almost, but I wasn't alive during the Reagan assassination attempt. But yesterday there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, former president and the Republican nominee. And the video was, it was surreal watching it. It was, even though we weren't surprised, neither of us, because we're surprised it took this long to happen, because we've told you in post and the video, put nothing past the deep state. Don't be surprised if they make an attempt on Trump's life. We've told you this, so we weren't surprised. But seeing it, knowing that it happened, is still surreal.
It was probably one of the most historic days of my life. The only one that I think even comes close was the rigging of the 2020 election. Also probably set a crazy historic precedent.
Yeah, we are living in crazy times. Emil, you're like me, and I know I'm the one that told you to turn the news on and everything, but early on we talked about this. Do you trust? And me and you, we released the video first because, first of all, we knew something was fishy right away, and then as the details came out, it was obvious to us. Do you trust anything this media, these government deep state agencies, the administration? Do you trust anything that they're saying or that they're going to say about what happened yesterday?
Absolutely not. I think that they're saying what they have to say, not to get a ton of backlash from this. But I think everybody, including Biden, on the side of the left, wishes that bullet was just an inch over. I think that they wish he was dead. They call the man Hitler. They go after his family, threat to democracy. I think if they were to be honest, they would say they wish he was dead. They're just doing what they have to not get a ton of backlash.
Everybody's going to say the right things right now. And listen, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. We say what we say. I believe the left is evil. I believe the deep state is evil. I believe we cannot coexist with them. We have to beat them, whether that's through peace or through violence. We have to beat them.
We have to treat them like how they treat us. We've been beating around the bush for too long now.
Too long. We can't be pushovers. Listen, even if you were talking about God and how America is divine, there were so many times in the Bible God called for warriors. And look, there's a time for peace. There's a time for war. Make no mistake about it. And in every war, there's that transition from the intellectual fighting to the actual fighting. The first shots were fired yesterday. And the crazy thing is our side, not one riot, not one city burned.
Nothing. We didn't go to the White House. Nothing.
And we're always measured. We're always quiet.
It's not time for that.
But let me tell you something. If that visual had been different, had Trump died, and we had that same video, except for him dying and it not grazing his ear, this is maybe the first time I feel like this morning would have been completely different. I truly believe things would have got very nasty starting today had that bullet or his head been an inch different.
I would hope so. Although...
And I would hope so. Yes, sir.
I have doubt, because I think yesterday should have been enough to already provoke it.
Maybe this is my wishful thinking, but I think we are awake. I don't think it's going to take much from this point on. I think we are now on a thin line, and I don't think our side is going to take much more. I don't think our side is going to endure much more. I pray for peace, but what I pray for more, and what I believe more, is that God will preserve and save this republic. He may not save the map. He may not save every American, but he will be with his people, and he will save this republic. And yes, I say all people are God's people. We are all God's children. But there is no doubt, besides have been drawn. There is a good and an evil, and look. We criticize the Republican Party. They drive me crazy to no end. They frustrate me to no end. But there is no more making a moral comparison. There is no more, oh, they're just the same bird with two different wings. It's past that now. It's past that. There is, no matter how bad the Republican Party pisses me off, there is no more comparison between the left and the right at this point. Yes, is there corruption on both sides in D.C.? Yes. But, man, let me tell you something. Between cities burning, between stolen elections, between an assassination attempt, between other murders that we know about, between drag queen reading time, between Epstein and his ilk, his type, there is no more moral equivalence. There is a good and an evil at this point. And if you can't see that, then that should tell you which side you're on, or you are at least part of the problem. We have the RNC convention coming up, Emil, to get back into politics a little bit. We have the RNC convention coming up. Does this change who you think will be VP, or do you think it changes Trump's outlook or mind on who should be VP?
Yes, I think yesterday hopefully has, and I say hopefully, I think it should have already been DeSantis, but now it absolutely should be DeSantis after yesterday. We need somebody young, we need a fighter, we need somebody who can take over if something does happen to Trump. And it would also put Ron DeSantis in a great place for 2028.
Yep, and Ron DeSantis is a governor. That's an easier transition from going from governor to president than from senator to president. Ron DeSantis is a proven fighter. He can't stand the left as much as we can, and he has a military background. If it is anyone but DeSantis, and I know he's not being talked about and he's still a humongous underdog, but if it is anyone else than Ron DeSantis, especially after yesterday, I'll be very disappointed.
One thing I do want to talk on, I think yesterday, just by the numbers, as long as they don't rig the election, I think yesterday won Trump the election.
It's over.
Absolutely.
Also, something else you hit on earlier, too, before we moved on, I'll just throw it out there really quick. This guy was bullied, the woe is me story, easy to convince 20-year-old, the stereotypical crazy guy van. This guy is not a lone wolf. Don't believe nothing they tell you. If he did act alone, the powers that be knew he had the potential to do this, knew he was planning on it, and let it happen. Look at the viewpoint of that roof to the stage. Listen, I've never been in the CIA. I've never been in the FBI. I've never been in the Secret Service, obviously. I would know to secure that rooftop, or at least watch it. And the picture.
Look up the photo of these two Secret Service snipers. Before any shots have been fired, they were already aiming to be what looks at the building that he was stationed at. That's fishy. That's really fishy.
Don't trust them. Don't trust the media, no matter what they say. Don't trust Joe Biden, no matter what him and his administration say. Don't trust the deep state. Don't trust the alphabet agencies. Trust your instincts. We know these people. The New American Liberty knows these people maybe better than anyone since Rush Limbaugh himself. Do not trust them. Sponsor this half hour. At 6 o'clock, he comes out. Lenny, the crazy painter. Lenny, what are you doing here? It's time for me to put the kids to bed. Tell your kids to get a paintbrush. Lenny, I got family over. Lenny, it's Shabbat. Lenny, he does not care. He doesn't care. He's the crazy painter. Something in your house is getting fixed, whether you like it or not. Lenny, the crazy painter, sponsor this half hour. All right, and now Emil in the Capitalist pig section. Listen, we're still going to talk about it, but we got to throw something in there on top of our main topic. We're going to talk about it in the capitalist pig section. Tomorrow, I'm not saying buy it. I'm not saying don't. DJT going to be pretty interesting tomorrow.
Very interesting. I'm very excited to watch it. I bet even in the pre-market, we're going to see it move like crazy.
It's going to be crazy. On StockWits, it's just going to be awesome to watch. So just keep an eye on DJT. What we were going to talk about today, Emil, and I say the same thing. I say the same thing with health. Sometimes it's not what you don't do is as important as what you do, and especially at any age. At any age, it's good to budget. It's good to save, but especially when you're young and starting out, Emil, how important is it to save money, and what are some things you cannot do? What are some things you should not spend money on that are as important as what you do?
Yeah, I think it's obvious. It's very important to save money, especially at a young age, so you can set yourself up for a more secure future.
What's the time looking like up there? All right.
26.
Okay.
One of the things that's very easy to save money on is stay with your parents a couple more years if you have the opportunity, so that instead of paying a rent, you can move straight into a mortgage. That sets you up perfectly for the start of your life. It's very big. One of the simplest ways to save money is saving money on habits. There's people that go out every weekend, they smoke weed, they drink alcohol. That is a money killer.
And then complain that they don't have any money. And that's at any age.
That is a money killer. That is the easiest way to waste money, especially when you're young. Another thing is trying to just keep up with your friends in terms of buying flashy clothes, buying flashy cars. That's unnecessary. You're young. Save up for your first house. Make that your priority. Everything else can wait. I mean, experience life. You're still going to spend some money. You want to get memories. You want to get experiences. But you don't have to be dumb with money to do that.
Yep, you can't be done with money to do that. And that's, we always talk about the importance of young people saving just because Emil's young, and that's what I'm trying to bestow on him. But it's at any age. You should have a budget. Unless you're just got money coming in hand over fist. You should always have a budget. And like he said, balance, ratio matters. Sure, you have your money for fun. You have your money for memories, vacations, especially when you have wives and kids. Have your money for that. Have your fun. But always make sure you have some money to save, some money to invest, and then obviously you need money to live on. Look, if weed is your thing, if meth is your thing, if getting drunk is your thing, go for it. Make sure you could afford it, you have the money to do it, and you don't bitch at us about how broke you are all the time when you always have weed money. And just save up. When you're young, do the right thing. Don't be in a rush to leave the house. And listen, I know not every child has this option for various reasons. If you have the option, do the right thing. Be a good kid. Your parents won't rush you out of the house. Save for a down payment on a house. It's probably the greatest thing your parents could do for you, and it's probably the greatest thing you could do for your future and your future family. Let's get into the life section, Emil. Now, I talked to a few people, got some emails and some messages about what everybody did for the 4th. Love some of them. Some of them were hilarious. We went to Savannah, had a great time with the family. How was the fireworks show?
The fireworks were the best I've ever seen by far.
Unbelievable. Patriotic city, great city. I found a really interesting newspaper there. It was from Loyalist from 1782 that mentioned Nathaniel Greene attacking Savannah. Bought it. We have a really cool nerd collection of a few things, and one day I would love to maybe even on this section show it a little bit. Just nerd, nothing over the top, nothing worth millions or anything, but just cool stuff. So Savannah was a great trip. If you got any old things like that you collect, I'm so into that stuff. I would love to see it. Send me some pictures of it. Let me know how you got it. I have his, one of the cool things I have is the article of him being from inauguration night, however you say that word, from him from 1922, I believe it was 21 or 22. So I love cool things like that. Actually, no, it was from when he won his first term, which I believe would have been closer to 24. Anyway, just awesome stuff like that. One of these days in the life section, we'll go over that. What we wanted to add to the life section, because of what happened yesterday, me and Emil always talk about being prepared. It's so important with so many things. But today, just because in today's world in general, and I'm not going to make this about my wife, but let me say in general, if I was a husband, if I was a man, there's no way before yesterday, but especially yesterday, that I would let my wife leave this house unarmed. Just wouldn't. And political seasons get crazy anyway. After what happened yesterday, things feel tense. Short story, in the primaries of 2016, I almost got in a fight in the middle of traffic because of a Ted Cruz bumper sticker that my wife had on her car. So things feel kind of tense right now. Be prepared always, but for all of us, just keep an extra eye out. 9 out of 10 times, the best thing you could do is ignore these idiots, walk away. But sometimes that 10th time, you may have to fight or protect yourself and your family by any means necessary. And if you do end up whipping a liberal's ass, and I've told Emil this, if something happens and we're out and I have to whip some ass, I have told him I don't want him to jump in. I don't want him to break it up. I just want him to record it so that we could put it on the New American Liberty League YouTube channel. So if you end up whipping a liberal's ass, please send me that so that I could put it on our channel. Is that respectable, or is that okay? That's all right. Listen, support the page, support our Facebook, True Social, support True Social anyway because of Trump. Please support our YouTube channel, watch the videos. We have an interview coming up with a guy. I've already wanted to talk to him about this. He wrote an essay about the good and evil that we speak of. He has this list of conservative alternative businesses that I wanted to hear about anyway. But because of what happened yesterday, I reached out to him and I said, Rick, his friend of ours named Rick Kuiper, I said, when can we do this? Because of what happened yesterday, he used to work for a federal agency, and it's just right in his wheelhouse, and I would love to pick his brain about that. So sometime this week, we're going to do an interview with him, support the page, support the league, and we are the New American Liberty League.
Saving the Republic, one episode, one listener at a time.
One listener at a time.